What up, y'all? My name is Donnell Greer. I am a friend of Miss Glass, Miss Rita Glass, whatever y'all call her. She's good peoples. Y'all make sure y'all listen to her. Um, anyhow, I just want to give y'all a quick video on what I do as well as just the way I got to where I am. And so I was like a lot of y'all in high school, didn't know what I want to do with life other than play football, play basketball. From there, I went to college, had a scholarship to Tarleton State. And then from there, played football. Still didn't know what I wanted to do other than now I know I wanted to play football and chase women. Those were the two things in life that I only cared about. Um, so anyway, I I ended up transferring from Charlton to Texas A&M, all that to play football again. Again, more women, but I didn't go to any classes this time. But I got to meet a lot of people. So I got my life straight. Jesus got a hold of that, that's for sure. And so I went to UTA, started finally going to classes, complete my courses. I had a kid by this time, so it was a little bit more serious for me. And so I was sitting in a marketing class. That's what I went to school for, was marketing. And we had to do a sales presentation. So our teacher had different CEOs, vice presidents, presidents of different companies come out. And we basically had to sell them on whatever product that we had. So my previous boss, he was the person that I had to sell to. And the presentation went pretty well, that he ended up offering me an internship on the spot. And at the time, I was just in school. I wasn't making much money. Excuse me. And it was something full time. So I took him up on it, and worst mistake of my life. I hated the job. I hated the 8 to 5. And I did learn a lot from that experience. I will say that. I learned how to cold call. I learned how to do cold emails. And I was just persistent about trying to get a sale, because essentially I was just in a sales position. So I was at that job. I hated it. There was no other growth after I got to a certain point. And so during that process, I reached out to a mentor of mine who was in real estate. He took me around the town, showed me what he did, and then he basically showed me the thing that clicked for me was he showed me how much he was gonna make for that particular month. And that's all I needed to see. And so from there, came back up to DFW, and I enrolled in real estate school, which I did it online. You can do it in person, you can do it online, and it's kind of go at your own pace. I was hungry. I was ready to get out of that job and ready to do something with life, and just like live with things that I've only dreamed for. So that was my motivation. That was my mission. That was my mindset. And so I completed the course in a month, took the test, passed the test, signed on with a brokerage, and lo and behold, that is how I became a real estate agent. Rewind back to college. Didn't get a ton of benefits out of college, and I'm not knocking it by any means. The number one thing that I didn't expect to technically pay for, which you don't, is networking. And those were the people that I met in college, or the people that I still associate with and talk to today. And so when I first got into real estate, I sucked. I didn't make any money. I took a leap of faith, and I'm like, God, where are you? This is not what I was thinking it would be. I made a Facebook post. I made an Instagram post. Like, people should be coming out the woodworks of hitting me up saying that they need a house to buy, yada yada. None of that happened. And so what clicked for me was going back to my previous job, was the cold calling, was the cold emails, the just basically going to businesses and trying to get business. by building relationships. Which those are the critical things that if you feel like you can't do anything right now, that is what you could be doing, is building relationships with people that you know are in a position that you are trying to get to. So, anyway, the value of college for me was the networking. And so started reaching out to a few friends that were they already had jobs. Now they're starting to build a family. Now they're looking to buy a house. And that is how my wheels started turning. Also, I was going door knocking and asking people basically for business. That's how desperate, that's how hungry I was to make this thing successful. So those are the things that I feel like if you feel like you don't know what you could be doing, is making sure that you are being able to have conversations with people, build relationships, and network. Because again, any job that you're going to go after, you're going to have to sell yourself to why that company should hire you. And for me, I didn't care to have a boss. So that's another reason why I chose real estate. I didn't really want to report to somebody every day and have them micromanage me. And so this is kind of where I am at this place, at point in my life. And plus, real estate has provided a ton of time to where you may not understand time just yet, but you will. I can take a lunch when I feel, I can go work out when I want to, I can go pick up the kids and have lunch with them. Like it's a beautiful thing for me. That is the number one thing that I've found in real estate that really drives me to continue doing what I'm doing. Other than helping people buy and sell houses, I am a real estate investor. And so that means I would buy a house low, rehab it, and sell it to an end buyer. And basically, I get obviously the spread between what I bought it for and what I sold it for. Buy low, sell high. Keep that in mind. The other thing that I wish I could have learned about and knew of these opportunities is what we call creative financing in the real estate investing space. And so what that essentially is, I mean, I don't know if y'all have heard it before, but there are different strategies. Obviously, I just told you about flipping. The other is buy and hold. There's another one called the BRRRR strategy, which is buy, rent, or buy, rehab, rent, refinance, and repeat. One of the quickest ways that you can build your wealth and build your real estate portfolio is through that method right there. And also what y'all could do as in the grade and the next steps that y'all are about to go to is what we call wholesaling. And that's essentially, you're buying the house, no money down. So I'm sure y'all have seen the bandit signs in yards that says, hit me up, I want to buy your house, 0 money down. That's what a wholesaler does. I've seen kids that were 19, 20 in this industry make well over $60,000, $70,000 just off wholesaling alone. So there is a ton of value in, even if you don't want to be in real estate or be a realtor or an investor, a lot of people are looking for, when they get to certain points in their life, they're looking for passive income to where you don't have to work all your life. And so when you retire, your money's working for you. And obviously, you know, the famous rappers and famous quotes out there always talk about making money in your sleep. That's essentially what you are trying to get to. So let me see if I missed anything. I know Sarita sent a few questions. What is the worst part of your career? The worst part of my career is managing emotions within the transaction. So I know, fellas, y'all deal with women, and you know their emotions get the best of them. And so you got to figure out how to maneuver past that. Most of the time, you can just give them some McDonald's or some Chick-fil-A and they fine. But It's essentially the same thing in a real estate transaction. You're helping people buy the biggest asset or make the biggest purchase of their life. Emotions get high when something small can come up, and so it's the matter of maneuvering through those emotions and being the logical and the voice of reason. So yeah, that's one of the worst parts is dealing with people's emotions. It's not all women, but I can attest from having a girlfriend and knowing that is one of a big thing that comes into play. So after the transaction's over, everybody's happy. They've got their house. They moved in. Yada yada. They are your biggest advocates. But anyway, I hope all of that was valuable and helped. Sharita, or if y'all have any questions for me, feel free to reach out. Shoot me a message on Instagram, Facebook. I think it's the Dukes of Real Estate, the Duke of Burleson, something like that. Have Sharita provide that information. If y'all have any friends, family members, mom and dad interested in buying and selling a house, tell them to hit me up. I can give you a referral fee. So if that's something that y'all are interested in, anything that I close on, I will personally provide y'all cash in hand. We can do, I think, $500 or something like that. So hit me up. Be blessed. Do everything with passion and listen to your teacher. Love y'all.